They're jealous, and plus they don't understand the way I play poker.
Am I lying?
Kelly, I broke their computers, right? Because they don't understand.
Who's they? The 10%?
Welcome to the latest chapter in the endless saga of Phil Hellmuth. It's September 2025, and the man with 17 WSOP bracelets and a reputation for more tilts than a seesaw has just thrown down the gauntlet. A $1 million challenge to all his haters, daring them to put their money where their mouths are. Let's rewind a bit to set the stage. Since bursting onto the scene with his main event win, Hellmuth has dominated tournaments, racking up over $30 million in earnings. But cash games? Well, that's where the knives come out. Critics have long whispered that Hellmuth's playstyle crumbles under modern pressure. Fast forward to early September 2025, and the whispers turn to roar thanks to Mark Goon, the founder of Hungry Horse Poker and a coach who's made a name dissecting high-stakes play. Mark dropped a video analysis of over 100 hours of Hellmuth's cash game footage, and let's just say it wasn't kind. He labeled Hellmuth's game scared poker, a timid, fear-driven approach that's costing him big in the long run. Goon's takedown was surgical. He zeroed in on Hellmuth's pre-flop tightness, calling it a massive leak in today's solver-influenced meta. Picture this hand from the Hustler Casino Live, where Phil wakes up with pocket kings and opens to $800. When faced with a 3-bet, does he 4-bet for value like a fearless shark? Nope. He flats, opting for the passive path to dodge those pesky post-flop minefields. Goon called it a textbook fear. Hellmuth so terrified of looking foolish or misplaying a big pot that he clips his own EV, and it's not just pre-flop. Goon roasted an infamous spot against Duck Polk where Phil Hellmuth held the nut straight on the flop and jammed all in for his stack, not to build the pot, but to slam the door on tough turn and river decisions. He's afraid of getting pushed around, afraid of not getting paid off, afraid of the math. Goon lamented, comparing Phil's league to those of a recreational player in a 2-5 home game. Goon suggested that these tendencies add up to a style that leaves significant money on the table in modern high-stakes games. The numbers do not paint a pretty picture. According to data compiled by HighRollPoker.com, dating back to 2006, Phil Hellmuth has dropped more than $800,000, averaging $1,400 an hour and 3.7 big blinds per hour. There are some winning stretches, most notably $88,000 on Poker After Dark. However, they are dwarfed by big losses everywhere. Just days after Goon's takedown dropped, Hellmuth fired back on social media and in interviews, his voice dripping with that signature mix of indignation and invincibility. "Talk is cheap," he posted on X. He claimed $3 million in cash game profits since 2014, tax records available upon request, and bragged a 23 out of 24 winning session streak in televised games from 2013 till 2019. He offered a $1 million challenge where he and his hater each pony up $500,000. From there, it's a crossbook, which means dollar-for-dollar action on Hellmuth's results in those same televised cash games where the critics say he bleeds money. The poker world did not just watch, it swarmed. First up was Brian Oken, the guy behind the ultra-exclusive Oken's Game on Venetian Poker Live. "Hey Phil, I don't allow many pros into my game. I try to keep it mostly business people and non-pros. However, I'd love to have you in Oken's Game sometime." Then came Sean Perry, the high roller shark who has been needling Hellmuth for years, offering a pure heads-up match for $500,000 a side, scalable up to $5 million if Phil's feeling frisky. Next in line was the Finnish baller who just dropped $18 million in a heads-up massacre to Dan Cates. Monarch jumped in, demanding a heads-up for rolls action. Joe Ingram called it a nice rage bait. As of mid-September, no one has signed on the dotted line, but the energy's electric. The challenge highlights a fundamental debate in modern poker, whether tournament poker excellence translates to cash game success. Hellmuth's tournament credentials are unassailable. He holds the record for the most WSOP bracelets and has over 30 million in live tournament earnings and continues to final major table events well into his 60s. His white magic playing style, which relies heavily on reading opponents and exploiting recreational players, has proven remarkably durable across multiple poker eras. This approach is particularly effective in large field tournaments filled with amateur players where survival and patience can triumph over mathematical optimization. However, cash games present a different challenge. The modern high-stakes cash game environment is dominated by young professionals versed in GTO strategies and solver-based play. In this context, the fear-based tendencies that Goon identified become costly leaks that skilled opponents can exploit. Despite the criticism, Phil Hellmuth has maintained his relevance in multiple formats. His impressive 9-2 record on PokerGo's high-stakes duel, including sweeps of Antonio Esfandiari and Daniel Negreanu, demonstrates his continued heads-up prowess. He also recently defeated Phil Galfond 2-0 in heads-up cash games on BetRivers Poker. Will Phil Hellmuth find an opponent, or will this challenge fizzle out like so many other props? One thing's certain, in the Church of Poker, Phil Hellmuth remains the high priest of provocation.